Shalom. Call halal, Yahweh by Hashem Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. I don't know why this app is acting up, man. When the baby's asleep. Trying to there we go. Salakia, I was gonna do a response. This is gonna be a quick lesson. I'm a little bit angry because I actually had to pull down a video because Esau screenshotted some personal information in the video, and I didn't even realize it. I was looking at the video and looked up at it, and I was like, damn. So I had to pull down a video of I think it's about to go. I forget the name of it, but it was a video I did yesterday, and I had to pull it down. So anyone who's looking for that video, Salakia, it's because right there in the yeah, you know, I'm raising my phone up now to share to share the videos from it. When I raised it up, it showed some family members, some seeds. My son's daughters, beautiful as they are, I didn't want their faces plastered all over the video. I was really kind of pissed and offended when I saw that. But I want to go in on. Let me find this sister. First, let me read this scripture. Let's go here first. I'm going to go to Psalms 85 and 11, because there's this sister named this Gadite sister named Jessica Love. I call her Silver Fox because she's quite attractive. She really is, but she she's not very wise. That's for sure. I used to work with this chick. Used to always say, "Good thing she's pretty." That meant, you're getting away with not being so smart because of your looks. But damn it, why is this thing acting like that? 85 and 11. There we go. And it reads, "Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven." All right. So what I'm looking at right now is video number 2. You see Glenn Beck's face, and then and the video that I was looking for with him going into this history, for some reason it won't pull up on YouTube, even though I know it's on there. But it says forensic geologist Scott Walter investigates artifacts. All right. Featured ancient Hebrew writing. Could they be tied to the lost tribes of Israel? And of course they are. It says the Backcrete stones, the lost tribe of Israel, lost tribes of Israel, Backcrete stones. All right. So there's no, what Esau does is anytime any evidence that proves him to be lies, he likes to try and discredit it some way or somehow. Because I'm going to play a video where Glenn Beck goes into the evidence and how the evidence speaks volumes over what the text says. And that's just like in Snowden's book, Blacks in Greek History, the black presence in Greek history, or however it's written. But there's a portion in his book where he pretty much says the same thing. The relics tell a different story from the written text, because the written text will often lie, but the actual relics tell a different story. So it's just like what you're looking at the screen is ancient Phoenician Hebrew, and it's upside down, and they did that on purpose. When you flip it back up, you can see it plain as day. All right. So that's exactly what it is, and that was the language being written and used by the Native Americans prior to Christopher Columbus showing up. All right. And the Backcrete stones are actually in Los Lunas, New Mexico. So you have these natives and all, and we've been telling you that, hey, look, the 12 tribes of Israel make up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and then, of course, are scattered among the heathen. All right, you're gonna have some of our people that even look like Glenn Beck himself. All right, that's a fact. But let me go to my profile. There we go. Let me find this user. And her video is gone, but let's get an image of her first. Well, I won't even show her anymore. Hold on. There we go. All right, I hit it. And it popped up, and there she is. There's Miss Jessica Love. I call her the Silver Fox Gadite. All right. Everybody has their flavor. She definitely mine, but that's got nothing to do with it. All right. What the issue is that she really needs to just shut her mouth. All right. But she put up this video where she's boldly speaking about history, and she's using Esau's history. She's using pseudoscience, which even these relics prove that to be wrong. And as a matter of fact, let's go get there. Let's get 1 Timothy. All right. Because she's going by these lies that they've propagated in their scientific world, which cannot be proven. It's all full of theses in it. And we've told you so many times the word science goes back to the word to know. All right. When you have a thesis and a hypothesis, those are all guesses, which means you don't really know. Well, if this happens, then that could happen, and if this happens, this could happen. You know, it's not like it's not like having a recipe or a serum where you know if you put this chemical together with this chemical, you're gonna get that reaction. It's not that cut and dry. It's all a bunch of guesses. All right, but this is 1 Timothy 6:20, and it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. So she tried to use false science to get around the evidence that was being presented, the relics, the hardcore relics, like you said. And this is just one of thousands, this Backcrete stone right here. One of thousands, all right? And so, without any further ado, let me find the Glenn Beck. I can find it on TikTok. It won't pop up for me on YouTube, all right? But I definitely find it on here and find a video where he goes into it. That I can do because I have it. Because I was searching for her video and couldn't find it, and I knew I had, saved it. And it turns out what probably happened is that I left a comment, and then some other people made comments, and people were commenting on my comment. And what I believe happened is that she just got cut and embarrassed by the truth she didn't have answers for. So she just pulled the video down. All right. So this is the actual video.
It only works when Indian.
Hold on.
It only works when.
So let me go back in and let me turn it up and push play. And here we go.
The history that has been erased in our nation, and in particular with the Native Americans, happened because it didn't fit the story they created, Manifest Destiny. It only works when Indians were savages, and
when they happen to be white. Okay?
To have savages for commerce and government to expand. The ancient artifacts prove otherwise. Why aren't we looking into those? Peter
Exactly.
Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks, and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box. It was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut. Here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here. At first, they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition
of what we refer to as the Paleo Hebrew. It's what Israelis refer to as biblical Hebrew because they use the Assyrian script. So they call it biblical Hebrew. All right. So once again, these relics are telling a different story from what Miss Jessica Love was telling.
Of the 10 Commandments. Now, this is another piece. Block Hebrew. They said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream
So
archaeologists.
what you have to ask yourself is, why was a stone of the Ten Commandments found among the natives? All right, if they were always here. So, and I've even heard, people say that the Hebrews came over here, gave them that, and then left. Where's the history in the Bible of that? Where's the evidence of that? And what sense would that make? Why give them something that they don't understand, that don't belong to them, and leave such cherished artifacts with them? It makes absolutely no sense, especially knowing that this Hebrew relics, this writing, was found all over America, from Canada to Brazil. All right, from Canada to Brazil, all over the Americas, they found this. They just found some of this same writing and artifacts in Puerto Rico. But yet you're still going to have people to ignorantly fix their lips to say that the natives and the Latinos are not Israelites, when the oldest relics of Hebrew, the oldest forms of block Hebrew, is found among them, and evidence that they were keeping a lot of the laws and statutes and commandments, just by even in their dress. All right, they wore fringes with the border of blue on most of their dress. All right.
At the time, called this a hoax. But then in 1900,
so when they found it, they called it a hoax. All right. So I'm gonna shut up now. Let me just let it play.
Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss.
So I'm gonna take it back.
The history that has been erased in our nation, and in particular with the Native Americans, happened because it didn't fit the story they created, Manifest Destiny. It only works when Indians were savages, and they had to have savages for commerce and government to expand. The ancient artifacts prove otherwise. Why aren't we looking into those? Peter Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks, and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box. It was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut. Here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here. At first, they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the Ten Commandments. Now, this is another piece. Block Hebrew. They said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss the findings. They found it in Israel, and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee. Since it came from Cherokee country, they didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew. They had published this originally upside down. They threw it in a box.
That was done on purpose.
Put it in the basement. Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and went, oh my gosh, it's upside down. It's Phoenician, ancient Hebrew. So what's going on here? What is that about? Where is that history? 1882, 1883. This is John Wesley Howell. This is an original copy. John Wesley Howell in 1789. Again, this is the Powell. This is the director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institute. He said this. Artifacts found prior to Christopher Columbus's arrival would be considered illegitimate by the Smithsonian. Only the savage Indian culture would be observed, and this created the artificial barrier to science.
Wow.
Only the savage. Science was colluding with government because of commerce and religion was involved. Now, why do I tell you all this stuff? Not because I'm an Indian expert or anything else. You got to do your own homework. I just found out about this stuff. I'm amazed by it. To find more, visit the website lostcivilizationdvd.com.
So basically, it was a cover-up. And when evidence proved that the narrative which had been established that the Jewish people, for example, the Israelis that are in Israel now, are not the Hebrews of the Bible, all right? And it also would have made them, because America was built so-called on Christian, principles, it would have been hard to explain that you calling the people of the Lord savages and you murdering and stealing, scalping them and stealing their land and taking their homes away from them. It would have been a little bit more difficult to sell that to the people if these people were actually the Lord's chosen people and not just savages. An Indian does mean savage, all right? When you're calling someone an Indian, you're calling them a savage, all right? So it shouldn't be a proud thing to be referred to yourself as Indian. Even if you're an East Indian, you're just an East savage. All right. So basically, Esau Edom is just, it's being found to simply be a liar. All right. Which is, matter of fact, let me grab that and close this out. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Yeah. And it reads, "Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon his high places." And we're treading upon their high places and their names. We're treading upon their colleges and their degrees, their masters, their science, their masters, their bachelors, and their PhDs. We're trampling upon their high places. Why? Because they propagate lies to fit their fragility, their so-called self-proclaimed white fragility. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakak Wadash Wa Abba Baba, and hopefully this has been another satisfying racial moment. Shalom.